Always fun to talk to the head coach of the Brookville Bees, Jeff Woody. Bees put up a big number on Jefferson Forest last week. Coach Woody talks about that as well as looking ahead to this week's matchup against EC Glass and much, much more. It's Jeff Woody, head coach of the Brookville Bees, when I caught up with him this past Sunday on the Sports Buffet podcast.
Always love to talk to Jeff Woody, and when Coach Woody and I talk, it seems like we get people talking too. The head coach of the Brookville Bees joins me. Coach, I want to look ahead to EC Glass, but we've got some business to look back at first. I'll tell you what, when you put up 63 points, no matter who you're playing against, that's pretty good. But when you're doing it against an undefeated JF team who I don't think was a soft 3-0 or 4-0 or whatever it was, really good effort. Talk about what you saw good out of the offense.
Offensively, Kendall Beecraft was able to distribute the football like he's done. I really liked watching Wilson Atkins get out there and move and shake. He's a special athlete, can catch the ball. He can make some folks miss in space. And, not only does Wilson shine, but Anton Payne was able to make some things happen out there. Anthony Callaway was able to do his thing. And obviously the wide receivers out wide. Ben Hogg had a good game, dropped a couple passes, which I'm sure he's going to work on. He's very self-critical, and I'm sure he'll dive on that this week. And saw some other wide receivers getting involved in the action. Tyler Burford and Jacob Tubbs playing the other split. Kendall's finally getting to where he's comfortable, and those wide receivers are in there chunking and working hard, and it's high time they get involved in the mix. If they can get involved in the mix, it makes us better in the long haul. But all in all, keep in mind that that offense can't work unless those guys up front in the trenches are pushing folks around, and I feel good about their ability to make things happen, get Kendall protection, open up some holes. But hey, I felt good about the way things happened. We let them run for a little bit longer, got them three quarters in a drive, where they haven't been playing that much in previous games. They've been playing a half in a drive, and we've got to get ourselves in game shape with our ones to be able to play all 4 quarters for those tough games coming up in the Seminole District. And I got a couple in mind. EC Glass is the next one. And you know how it is in the Seminole District. You can't take a week off. If you do, somebody's going to get you.
Well, let's kind of get into some controversial topics here, maybe a little bit. You talk about you've been playing your kids. You're stretching them out a little bit longer because, when you play Amherst and or Heritage and, EC Glass and so on and so forth. Rustburg's not a weak sister either. I mean, you're going to have to play guys possibly 4 quarters because you're not going to be leading by 30, 40 points every night. Do you think that people get offended, though, because you left it three quarters in a drive and throw up 63 against somebody who happens to be a bit of a rival, or did it wouldn't have mattered who it was on the schedule, if you get what I'm saying?
Well, here, I'll tell you what we did find out. I'm glad that we were able to run the horses for 3 quarters in a drive, because we found that, there's some things we need to do. We need to get in better shape. Midway through that third quarter, which they haven't been playing that deep into the third quarter. So I looked at the latter parts of that third quarter. We saw some kids that need to be in there 4 quarters cramping up. One of them being Anton Payne, and he's a workhorse, plays both sides of the ball, and he puts his body through that type of physical exertion. It's gonna give on it, and he cramped up a little bit. And same with Kendall Beecraft. Kendall Beecraft started cramping up there in that third quarter. And, can't have Kendall Beecraft cramping up in the 4th quarter of a tight ball game. And, those kids need to see what it's like, pushing throughout all 4 quarters and taking it the long haul. You obviously risk when you're in that situation. You risk injury, and we were fortunate enough to come out of this game without any injuries in the latter half. Unfortunately, D.D. Fox, number 2, got hurt very first play of the game on kickoff, and he's going to miss a couple of weeks. But and you also want to in those latter minutes when you've got a good lead, you want to throw some guys in there that have been busting their chops out all week in practice for 2s and 3s and whatnot. And they did get in there 4th quarter, and they did get some playing time. I don't think we got everybody in. And if that'd be the case, apologize to those cats, and we've already taken care of it. But they'll have plenty more opportunities as the season progresses.
All right, let me play devil's advocate a little bit more on this. What if somebody says, well, Woody, can you not work on getting people in better shape during practice or whatnot? I think I know the answer to that, but go ahead.
Sure you can. Yeah, of course you can work on getting people in better shape in practice.
But it's not the same as Friday night.
No, it's not. I mean, when we go out there and practice, we probably practice the least of any team, and maybe in the state of Virginia. We get out there and we push them for a good hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. We work at a fast pace. Obviously, offense is a fast-paced, no-huddle style of offense. But we get out there for an hour and 45 minutes, sometimes two, but mainly we keep it under the 2-hour mark. Mainly because we want to keep those kids hustling and we want their attention. And anytime you go any further than an hour and 45, 2 hours, whatever you want to call it, I feel like you're wasting your time. You're running in place. Games last longer than an hour and 45 minutes. Keep that in mind.
Right.
And so, yeah, game and practice is different. And obviously, when we practice, when we got our first-team offense out there, they're working against what we call the All-State Scout Squad. So that's what we got. But it's not as good as Jefferson Forest's #1 defense or Jefferson Forest's #1 offense. And then they're going against #1 quality football players that are going to line across the ball from them, and they got to push and pull, whatever it is they do, run, sprint, the entire game. And, we need to make sure that our kids are prepared for the latter half of the season. 5 games, we got 6 games, or 4 games left, 5 games left, 4 games last time. So we got 5 games left against all Seminole District teams, the best district in the state of Virginia. We got to make sure we're ready. And so as a result, we got to push them. We got to get them there.
Well, I don't think you were going to gain any fans from JF people no matter what you did because they're going to dislike you just because of the colors you wear. But moving on to Devil's Advocate part number 2 here, and you kind of touched on it earlier, are you risking your kids, leaving them in there just because somebody might take a cheap shot or somebody could get hurt on a fluke play or anything like that to where you could pull them, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you always risk that, though. I mean, take a look at D.B. Fox. He gets hurt the very first play of the game. Okay, now, that's justifiable because the score was 0-0. But if D.B. Fox gets hurt in the fourth quarter, when we still got our runs into that last drive, then yeah, what do you have to show for that? Now, I feel like the reason why we put our kids in there was by no means in order to run the score up and make a statement or to make sure that we had the stats so that we could get all this, that, and the other. It was to make sure that we could get our kids in great physical condition so that we can make a push, hopefully late or early in December. And then, you need to tell me that, I'd say best case scenario, I'd love to be able to pull my kids off in the state championship game if we happen to be, if we're fortunate enough to be there. Now, we got a long haul in order to get there. But if we're up, 41-7 at halftime in the state championship game, yes. Yes, we're going to get some shine. We're going to let the other kids get in there and experience a game of a lifetime. But we got to make sure we're prepared to get there. And in order to get there, we got to make sure we're in great game shape. In order to get in great game shape, we got to play the game. And so, who knows? I wish I had a crystal ball and could predict the future. Maybe I wouldn't have had D.B. Fox out there first kickoff.
Well, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, and you never can. You never know. I remember I was on the staff a while back, and we were beating Stanton River back when we played them. We were beating them pretty good, and we had a good 28-point lead, fourth quarter, starting tailback separates the shoulder, and he's out for the next 3 or 4 weeks now. And it can happen, and that did happen. And obviously, parents were mad, and coaches questioned why we did that, but maybe that was the same reason. Maybe we were trying to get ourselves, maybe we were physically prepared to play 4 quarters.
But you're not in this game to be popular or to win friends.
No. I mean, you gotta put your horse blinders on, and you gotta do what's best for your team.
Right.
But I got plenty of friends, I believe. I don't know if I like Don Rice that much, but him and I socialize on a regular, and so do most of the coaches in the Seminole District. I feel like the chemistry in the Seminole District amongst coaches, we all get along well. And I think we're a tight-knit group outside of the Seminole District. I think we rely on each other. We trust in each other. We'll work with each other. And come playoff time, we're going to help each other. And, but yeah, I don't think that a situation like Friday night would result in any loss of friends, if you will.
Right. I can't wait till we have you and Don Rice sit down together on this podcast. That's going to be some ratings.
Don's a man.
That's going to be some ratings. All right, moving on to another topic before we get to EC Glass. I think the Seminole District's got a lot of good quarterbacks. Randall Jones, Javante Parrish, the kid at Amherst. I could go on and on and on. Is Kendall B. Kraft the best quarterback in the Seminole District, and do you want him to know that?
Well, yet to be seen. I mean, we still got to run through the rest of the gauntlet.
Why is it yet to be seen?
Because Kendall can get out there and lay eggs. Also, Kendall can get out there and shine. Not to mention, Kendall is up against, some, like as you just listed, some pretty stout athletes. I tell you what, I mean, as tough as the Seminole District is, and you went through that list of quarterbacks, that's probably, the top quarterbacks in AA state in the state of Virginia. And it's all here in one in the same Seminole District. It makes the district tough. It means you got to be ready to play every Friday night.
But wait a minute, let me play devil's advocate again here, because I haven't gotten to play devil's advocate with you in a long time, which I've missed.
Yeah, I hate this game, but go ahead.
If Kendall B. Kraft thinks he's the best quarterback in the Seminole District, though, is that a bad thing?
No, sir, not at all. Not at all. I mean, of course you want your quarterback. You want your team walking out on the field every time they play a game expecting to win. We're the best team on the field. And every time Kendall steps on the field, he needs to think he's the best quarterback on the field. And every time any one of my ball players stepped out onto the field, obviously you respect your opponent by giving 110% against them. And so with the confidence that we have tried to bestow on our kids, we want to walk out on the field and we want to be the best. And we hope that our best is better than what you got. Now, that's easier said than done, and obviously we want to respect our opponent. And once again, I'll repeat that. We respect our opponent by making sure we give them 100%. We give them our best effort. But, no, I want all my kids to think, like I said, Hilson Atkins needs to think he's the best running back in the system. You got to have mates and left tackle. I'm the best left tackle in the Seminole District. I mean, it goes to every position down the line.
Does Jeff Woody need to think he's the best coach in the Seminole District?
I know what I got. I feel like I got the best coaching staff in the Seminole District. Definitely by far. And I'd hope every coach in the Seminole District thinks so.
Right.
And by no means is this a Jeff Woody show.
Right.
This is all in together. And defensively, for example, I never say a word. Every once in a while I'll say something, they'll tell me to shut up and get out of here. But yeah, I feel like my staff has enough experience, has great chemistry. That great chemistry trickles on down to the kids. I feel like our kids have great chemistry. We have a good time out there at practice. We work hard, and it clicks all Friday night. And that's essential to success.
And I'm kind of poking at you a little bit here. I'm going to be honest.
I smell you. I smell it all day, dude.
All right, now, EC Glass. The Hilltoppers are coming off a game where a lot of people say, they were a little bit fortunate because they were up big at halftime. Rustburg battled back on them, but, when the record books end, they'll see EC Glass had one more point in Rustburg than double overtime. What worries you about Ben Martin's Hilltoppers?
They got athletes. They got athletes everywhere. Quarterback, they're running somewhat of an option, if you will. An option type of offense, and he's got the ability to run. He's dropped back, and he's done well as we've seen on film today. He's got some good running backs back there, too. Number 4, I believe. Number 5, that's quarterback Stokes, I believe. They got athletes everywhere, and they bring a lot of pressure on defense. And Kendall's not going to have much time to get the pass off, I know that. And so we got to develop a game plan that is quick-hitting. And that's with passes, that's with runs, and everything else under the sun. And, when you're facing an option type of offense, you got to make sure you play responsibility football. And so we got to be disciplined this week and make sure that we focus on reads and keys and we play Brookville football.
I have a feeling I know what the next answer to this question is going to be, but since I'm the quote-unquote journalist that I am, I will ask it. I think the big two in the Seminole District after Brookville right now are probably Amherst and Heritage. You have those guys back-to-back in a few weeks. Would you rather have them spaced out a little bit? Because, if your guys are looking past CC Glass, which I obviously don't recommend, they got Liberty next rather than an Amherst and a Heritage. Do you wish you kind of had that Amherst and Heritage to bookend the game to where you wouldn't look ahead, if you get what I'm saying?
I hadn't even thought about it like that, to be honest with
That's
you.
what I'm here for.
It is, and, huh?
That's what I'm here for.
Well, and to be honest with you, we're just going to play it like it's been dealt. And first things first, you got to worry about EC Glass, and then you got to worry about a resurrected Liberty. I understand that Maryland Eye triple option is running and running smoothly and well. And then so we got to play once again responsibility football, discipline football. 2 weeks down the road, and then we'll look at Amherst, then we'll look at Heritage, then we'll look at Westburg. But like you say, it's one game at a time. Every coach is going to tell you that.
I wasn't setting a trap, by the way. I promise.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't. I was not setting a trap. Well, let me throw this at you too. You and I are about the same age. We both graduated in '97 from respective institutions in the high school landscape around here. Do you think it's harder for kids not to look ahead nowadays? Because when you played, did you look ahead at the schedule?
Well, sure. You know, it depends on what you mean by look ahead.
Well look, go ahead. I was going to clarify, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not going to forget about who I'm playing now to think about solely who's coming up 3 weeks down the road.
Right, but
I'm going to know who I'm playing 3 weeks down the road. I'm going to know who I'm playing 4 weeks and 5 weeks down the road. I'm going to know the schedule, but I also know that schedule is saying that we've got EC Glass on Friday night.
Right,
and that we got to put a foot up the rear end and make sure that EC Glass is what we're thinking about. And arrogance cannot be a part of anything that we're doing. We got to focus on ourselves. We got to compete with ourselves in practice. We got to get better in practice. Got to be the best possible team that we can possibly be. And I don't think we're there yet. And so we got to make some improvements in practice that we can be where we need to be when it comes time to really count, whatever that may be.
Excuse me, but when Jeff Woody was a player, though, if you had a big game 2 weeks ahead, how far? I mean, were you looking ahead to that game, or did you honestly take it one at a time?
I want to do the best. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I commend the coaching staff that I have. We could be playing a nobody, if you will, but the coaching staff that we had in high school, which included Lindenberg and Ken Ferguson and Coach Alamong, who's with me now, Coach Burnett, who's now an administrator at Brookville High School. We were told whoever it was we were playing, we could have been playing the Little League 9-year-old Timberlake Lions team.
Right, but you know how to read too.
Yeah, well, I didn't know how to read. I still can't read, dude.
But my question, I guess, is to take the long way around the parking lot. I'll cut off a few cars here now at this point. Back in the day, we didn't have things like Virginia Preps, Friday Football Extra, ABC 13, WSLS. They were not. I would say they were almost not as big to where high school sports coverage. I think now is more out there for you if you really want it, to where it wasn't as available back in the day. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity to look ahead now back to when we were in school. Agree?
Yeah, sure.
Does that worry you, even though you can preach EC Glass, EC Glass, EC Glass, EC Glass this week?
Not at all. Not at all. Because that's all I'm going to preach, and that's all the kids are going to buy into, and that's all they're going to work on. We will work on stopping EC Glass's offense, and we will work on game plan in order to put points on the board against EC Glass. And if we think further down the road, and I'm going to preach this to these kids, then that's the one that's going to come back and get you. These kids also have read in all the press clippings in Virginia Press and everything else under the sun that the Seminole District is the toughest district in the state of Virginia. And if you sleep 1 week, somebody's going to get you. And try to prevent my kids from sleeping, if you will. They'll know what's up. They'll see the film. They'll notice the athletes that we'll point out what they do well, and we'll try to stop it.
Before we get the keys to the game on Friday, do you have to bring your kids down from what has to be an emotional high this past week?
Do I have to do that? Sure you do. Sure, every coach has to make sure that you sit on the youngsters and make sure that they don't get too arrogant and expecting and complacent, if you will. And the good thing about the group of individuals, young men that I work with, is they do come in coachable, and they expect us as a staff to dive on them. And you know, we got these things called get better sheets, and every Sunday we get into the coaching staff and we analyze that film and we point out all the mistakes. And so Monday, the first thing that they get when we have our team meeting is they get better sheets. It's not a pat on the back. It's not a, hey, good job. It's, hey, this is what you did wrong. And this is what we need to improve on. And the next thing we do is we watch that film. And we are critical with our young men when we watch that film. They know that they need to be coachable and not taking anything personal, but this is an attempt to get you better. And then we go ahead and put the game plan. And the very next day, we dive on the team that we're playing, and we check out their film, and we analyze all the things that they do on both sides of the ball. And so yeah, it's a science, Mr. Alistair. It's a science. We got it down to a science the way we try to prepare and get our kids ready for the next week. And no room for looking ahead, if you will.
I never thought of you as a scientist, but I guess I'll start calling you Mr. Wizard. What do you want to share? I mean, do you want to share anything the Get Better sheet said from this past week?
Let me think. Yeah, Kendall B. Kraft, never roll out, escape pressure, and throw the ball up in the middle of the field. Let me see another one.
I wasn't looking to pick apart individual people here. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And you get specific with, you know, how we want to block things up front. We want to make sure we're inside out, keep your feet, you know, low pad, double wins on defense. That's another thing. Yeah, you got your Caleb Thompson, stay low, quit swimming. Make sure you get your pad level low and take care of what you take care of. So the kids all see this stuff, and every one of them gets a copy of it.
Well, everybody just heard it now, too.
Yeah, no doubt. But,
final thing, as always, Coach, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can start doing this again on more of a weekly basis, but that's my fault, not yours. Offense, defense, special teams, one key in each that gives you guys one more point than the toppers.
Offensively speaking, we got to execute. We got to make sure we eliminate negative plays, hold on to the football, no penalties. Defensively, we got to make sure we play responsibility. Defense, very disciplined. We take care of our option responsibilities and obviously wrap up. Don't allow any broken tackles, if you will. Special teams, we've been doing a good job of this, especially now that Gutierrez is back, got to control the field position. You know, when you have any negative plays on that, a block punt can lose one for you, so protect your punter and let him get it to where he needs to get it, and obviously let him kick it back into the end zone like he has been doing and causing that offense to have to drive 80 yards. It's always tough to do that, but control field position.
As always, a pleasure, Coach. Best of luck against the Hilltoppers.
Yes, sir. You the man, dog. You the man.